Hey guys, welcome back to AutoXandTrack. Today's episode, update on the Mustang time. So I know it's been a little while since we've had any AutoXandTrack Mustang content. We've had some killer content with the TCI Blue 67 Fastback Mustang. Really excited about the last two videos on that car. Unbelievable career accomplishment for me to take fastest lap of the day 2 days in a row against some very strong competition. But today we're talking about this car, and I'll be honest with you guys, I did record some footage. We do have some additional content that I have yet to release, and I didn't release it because, real talk, I was frustrated. This car continues to suck up all my time and money. I put more time working on this Mustang in the past year and a half than I have put on the Camaro in the last 10 years. And the Camaro's managed to go more than 45,000 miles in that time. Do probably thousands of autocross laps, hundreds of road course laps. The Mustang did 4.5 autocross laps. You know, the car has not been cooperative since I brought it home. You guys, when you saw the last video with this car, we drove it under its own power out of the shop, did even a mini, somewhat sad burnout with it. Discovered that the power steering was leaking, but loaded on the trailer thinking no big deal, loose fitting, take care of it when we get home. Well, we ran into a slew of gremlins. You could see when I went back and rewatched some of my footage, I could just see for myself that, like, I went from trying to be kind of upbeat and hey, this is fun, I love cars, to like just frustrated. So, you know, hey man, sometimes that's real though. Like, this channel's not about just giving you guys a Hollywood view. You're gonna get some of the real stuff too, where I got frustrated. And so I didn't want to end on that. That's why there hasn't been any new uploads, even though I probably had enough footage to do one video. We're gonna cut some of that in now. I am feeling better. I'm back working on the car. And the reality is, you know, you get frustrated like that, it's nice to take a break. And I had good excuses on why to take a break. So there's no racing, wheel-to-wheel racing, from November until March. It's February now. I've got about a month before the next race, or the first race I could take this to. I had to get ready for OUFCI to run the Camaro. There was season finale NMCA where I was driving the TCI Mustang. And it looks like we're moving. So my wife and I spent a lot of time looking for a new place to live and figuring out all that stuff. So I am excited that if and when we do move, we're gonna end up with more garage space. So be able to do more with this channel. But it just sucked up a lot of time, and being frustrated, it was easy to walk away. So let me play some of those earlier clips. You're gonna see the first time we actually drove this thing out on the street, running out of gas. Lots of problems. So anyhow, let's get into the episode. It's Monday morning after NMCA weekend. I came home last night, had a new power steering adapter fitting waiting for me in the mail from Amazon. So I installed it last night. This fitting is supposedly these Dodge Omni racks. They sometimes benefit from just a little bit taller fitting. And based on pictures, I found one on Amazon that would get here yesterday. So I put it in. I'll show you guys what that looks like. Not quite as easy working on this as the lift, but there you can see the fitting. If you look at the brass one on top, you can see where the nut part of the fitting is basically almost flush with the rack. And here you've got almost 1/4 inch maybe sticking out. It was almost impossible to get that AN fitting onto the adapter though. I literally had to use a pair of vice grips to get the angle right, and then just hope I didn't cross thread it when I started to thread it on, because it was under so much force. But if it works, at least I would get to drive the freaking Mustang. So let's put some power steering fluid in and find out. All right, I got tired of wasting $15 quart power steering fluid, so we captured the stuff we drained off this time. So I am not at all convinced that this is gonna fix it. Oh, and now I'm making a mess. This car was all clean and pristine. Not no more. What time is too early to start your muscle car in the morning? It's 8:17. I'm gonna wait 13 minutes and do it at 8:30. Let's see what happens. I don't think I've ever got this car to start on the first try. I don't know what the deal is. May have to set this camera down. Yep. No choke, so you gotta run it for like a minute before it'll idle on its own. Meanwhile, I just want to go into the car and see if it's leaking. Alright, looks like it might idle for me here for a minute. Not quite yet. Power steering fluid sucked down. Well, it's not pouring out. I don't see any leaks right now. We might be about to go for a drive, boys and girls. Woo! Yeah! Just a little top up on the power steering here. All right, boys and girls, we are about to go on the maiden voyage of the Mustang. First time driving it since redoing the entire suspension in this thing. Rebuilt the transmission, rebuilt the rear end. The motor was fresh in 200 miles before we did this little excursion. The only catch is that when we scaled it, if you guys remember in the last video, I had 2 gallons of gas. I've idled it a fair amount since then. I have no idea how rich this thing runs, but I know it runs rich. So anyways, we're going straight to the closest gas station I know of, and I hope we make it. But yeah, let's do this. Just backed up to see if there was any puddle of fluid on the ground. I don't see anything. I had a dark spot, but that was from another, that's old. All right, let's go. That is rough in the back. We got to check the shock settings. They are stiff. I will say this thing rides so much nicer than the old 3-link. I'm not hearing bang, 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 bang. In the back here, it is so much nicer, smoother. So yeah, maybe a 3-link is hot stuff on the track, but if you want to have any kind of dual duty, that thing is loud, especially if decoupling. bedding in these brakes. The one thing is, I've noticed this on the Camaro. Anytime I put brand new pads and brand new rotors on, the brakes suck until you do the proper bed-in procedure. You can switch out pads onto an old set of rotors and they come on like no problem. I mean, I always bed them still, but like headed out to bed them, they feel great. But brand new pads, brand new rotors, the brakes are awful. So if you guys ever build a car and you're thinking, oh man, my brakes suck, when you first drive it, bed the brakes in. Alright, we're sitting on the side of the road because right after I turned the lights off, we went to pull in the gas station. Had a horrendous ramp. There's no way we're making it into that gas station with the exhaust as low as it is right now. And then as I was pulling away from that, I noticed we were spiking the temp way high after sitting at a light. I'm sitting over right now letting it cool off a little bit. It did come down quite a bit when I started moving again, but I checked the radiator. It's low. It's bonehead stuff, you know. I checked it when I first started it, but clearly didn't get it up to temp enough to purge all the air out. So not only have we not made it to a gas station, but I got to go straight home so I can put some good water in this and then try and make it to the gas station again. God damn it. You gotta be kidding me. Well, let's see if we can make it home. Alright, well, we're almost home, but the camera's off. As you can see, the Mustang's not in the garage. That's because I ran out of gas. Not too far from my house, but we have to now leave it on the street while I take this gas can and go get some gas. First drive, Ford. Mustang first drive, take 2. The goals are still the same. Get straight to the gas station. I have a little 2-gallon jug at home, so I topped up. Well, I put that in the tank. Sorry for the vibration. There's clearly something loose in here that I gotta chase down. But we're going to the gas station and then we're bedding these brakes. And then I gotta get back to dad duty. Well, one other thing. The shocks were all at full stiff. I got the Ride-Tech triple adjustables. Low speed rebound, low speed compression, high speed compression, they were all full stiff. That's why the car rode so crappy. I put it to the settings I think I remember from the Camaro when I had Ride-Tech on there, and it's riding great right now. This car is, except for the vibration, it is new. It's like a loose, I know the fire bottle bracket is part of it, and then there's something else. Except for those, the car is a lot more pleasant to drive. Yeah, now it's running cold. It's running 160 at speed. I guess it helps when you put over a gallon of water back in the radiator. Ideas on why it runs so rough in park throttle. When I rev it up in neutral and just hold like 2,000, 3,000 RPM, it's rough. And I don't know what's causing that. I've replaced pretty much the entire ignition system. I took the car for another test drive earlier today to see if the power steering leak that I've been chasing is fixed. Knowing that I've also got an oil leak and it looks like it's the rear main. And now the clutch is slipping, so it looks like the oil leak may have gotten to the clutch. No matter what, the transmission's got to come out because the transmission's leaking, even though I just had it freshly rebuilt. That sucks a lot. the inspection cover on this transmission was not silicone properly. I can see a little bead of silicone squished out all around the inspection cover except for about an inch area where there's sure enough fluid leaking out. But I'm more concerned about this slipping clutch now, and really hoping that I didn't oil bath and ruin the clutch, but I won't know until I get it apart. Haven't heard back from my friends with the lift, so I think I'm just going to try and pull the transmission myself on the back on the garage floor. A little bit spirits and morale are down right now with this car. You know, I was just on the phone with Efren, and I've spent more than twice the purchase price on this car now. I have put, I don't know, 300 or 400 hours of labor into this car at this point. Some crazy number. All I've ever been able to do is 5 autocross laps. So if you want to have fun, I can starting to see now why there's more Camaros out there than Mustangs, if this is any indication of the reliability and whatnot that comes. I'm not a Chevy guy, even though I own a Camaro first. I just love cars, but I'm seriously getting annoyed with the lack of reliability and the leaks, the non-stop leaks from this freaking car. Anyways, that's enough. Time to get to work. Mustang update. The transmission is out. Good news, bad news. Good news is that the bell housing is dry. The clutch looks dry, so we did not cause clutch slippage because it got wet. But this lever pulls off of the ball way too easy. So I gotta split the bell housing off so I can take this off and check it out. But it might be time to either replace this or the ball, or at least make sure the springs are properly tensioned. Haven't found the oil leaking back. It looks like it might be coming from the head gasket, which I've never seen an oil leak from that. Also, I decided it'd probably be a good idea to change the clutch cable because this crimp fitting was coming out, but when I went to remove it from the car, the firewall side has seen better days. So another issue we'll chase on Monday. Yeah, have to remove the header in order to get the engine to droop enough to pull the trans. Getting it back in is going to be tough. So yeah, the Mustang fun continues. This car continues to suck up all my time and money. You're gonna notice a trend until I get this thing on track or have fun driving it. Just, it's tough to stay upbeat and you know, keep the motivation up on this thing. It's definitely dwindling and frustration levels are rising. I want to drive it, I want to have fun, I want to stop fixing problems. Guess what? The power steering leak still not fixed. Drained the power steering system 4 times trying to mess with these fittings. I got special O-rings from the rack supplier. Pretty sure they're the wrong size because when I changed the low pressure side, which wasn't even leaking, just because, hey, while I got this thing apart, let's change the O-ring. It looked like it was a tiny bit different size, but I figured this guy's the expert. Well, now the low pressure side leaks, so I got to take it apart again. Yeah, anyhow, next time I come back, hopefully a more positive update.